In this video, I will show you how we can set up a Puppet Master and a Puppet Agent, by only using code. I will log in, using SSH to show the servers are up and running, but that is just for show. The web server is installed by running the Puppet Agent only. I'm really excited to show you. Puppet Server was previously called Puppet Master. This might be helpful if you are searching for knowledge. Let's get started. For this video we use several pieces of code. We use Terraform code, Bash scripting code, Puppet code. I target an audience that has at least some technical knowledge. For example, as a SAP consultant. That is why, in this video I will not explain Bash code, I will show it though. The code we use is stored in a Git. We use Git Lab for that. There is a open source Git Lab as well, that you can run locally. I've chosen the cloud variant. To check out the source code I use Git Bash. This will give me a command line tool where I can start cloning repositories very easily. Let me show how to clone the code to my local demo directory. Let's dive into the code. I've used many editors, but when I worked with Microsoft's Visual Studio Code, I was sold, I was hooked, and never want another editor again. I highly recommend Visual Studio Code. It's important to know that Terraform will read all .tf files in the directory where Terraform is executed. The GitLab pipeline is configured in a way that it will run the Terraform validate first. We can manually trigger the build. When we are done with this video we can trigger the destroy action. This will remove all infrastructure from AWS. Before we can look at the code, we need to know what we are building. In picture you can see what infrastructure the code will create. The infrastructure is hosted at AWS in Frankfurt. One server, the left one, is the Puppet Master. It will hold the configuration data of the other server. The other server, named Website Server, will contain a web server to host web pages. The servers will get a public DNS record so we can access them with ease. The two servers are defined in the AWS_puppet-master.tf and AWS_puppet-agent.tf. This is not a crash course Terraform, but I can still show you some things that might ring a bell or are pretty easy to understand. The Puppet Master is a small T3A microserver with 2 CPU and 1 GB of RAM. It has two security groups assigned. A public security group, which allows the server to be reached from the internet, and a Puppet Master security group which allows traffic from port 8140. The Route 53 record will create a public DNS record so we can easily access the servers by name. The installation of the Puppet server happens by passing user data to the instance, in this case that is Puppet Master, the Bash script. Here you can see the following steps. Setting a host name. By default you cannot install Puppet server out of the box, on CentOS. That is why we need to add the RPM location. The installation of the Puppet server software. Reducing the memory usage for this small server. Allow auto-signing of the Puppet agents, otherwise we have to manually accept new Puppet agents, we don't want that. Next you see the main Puppet configuration manifest where we define what package to install on the website server. Because this is a really simple example, we will only install HTTP and make sure that it's running. This simple setup is OK for the demonstration, however, in a normal situation you should use another Git for this code, so you can manage the code as software. In the last step, we restart the Puppet server. This is all we need to do for the server part. Next have a look at the website server in the puppet-agent.tf. This is one of the smallest servers available, the T3A.nano server. This server has the web server security group assigned, which allows a connection at port 80. Also this server gets a public DNS record so we can connect to it easily. The installation of the Puppet agent takes place in the Puppet agent bash script. Here you see the following steps. Setting the host name of the server. Adding the RPM location. Installing the Puppet agent. Adding default configuration for the agent. For example, tell the agent where to find the Puppet server. Also define that the agent has to contact the server every 1 minute. In a normal situation that would cause too much load on the Puppet server when connecting with thousands of agents. For this demo it's fine because it will show the power of the code. And finally restart the Puppet agent. This time we will start the pipeline manually. We go to our repository, and in the CI/CD menu there is an option for pipelines. Press the Run Pipeline button, and press the Run Pipeline button again to get started. There are 3 stages. 1. Validate. Here the syntax will be checked and an action plan will be presented. The action plan will inform you what Terraform will do. 2. Deploy. This will execute the Terraform plan. 3. Destroy. This will remove all infrastructure created for this demonstration. The validate is finished. Let's start the deploy. The deploy is finished. Let's log into the Puppet Master server. Yes, this one is alive. Log into the website server. Yes, this one is also alive. This one is up only a couple minutes. If everything went okay, we should be able to access the website. Let's open a browser window and test it. Yes, it worked. Without using any commands on the command line, we set up a working environment. The cool thing is, that we have everything in code. This means we can do the same thing again in a week, in a month, every year, every hour. This is the power of code. Do you feel the power of code? Please let me know in the comments. To remove infrastructure, click on the Destroy step in the pipeline. Everything has been removed. We are back to where we started. Let me give you a free tip. If you want to start experimenting with infrastructure as code. If you want to feel the power of the code, open an account with Azure or AWS and start coding. If you have issues you can always leave a comment. Job well done. You are amazing. If you have questions or remarks about, or did you like the video, let me know in the comments area. Thanks for watching. Please give me a thumb up, share this video and don't forget to push the subscription button below. That would be awesome, and I will see you next time, in another video.